Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about successful habits of an entrepreneur. I've been a full-time online business owner for over 2 years now. I haven't worked a job in 2 years, and I've created my dream lifestyle where I have a total time freedom, location freedom, and financial comfort. And I've achieved it without having to wake up at ungodly hour, follow strict routines and schedules. And I genuinely disagree with that approach that some people have, telling you that you have to work 10 to 15 hours a day and you have to wake up at 5 a.m., etc. etc. I disagree with that. I'm going to share what worked for me, and hopefully it can inspire you as well. But you know what? First, we're gonna go make matcha together because I can't start my day without a nice cup of matcha in the morning.
She devil, she bad little bitch, she rebel. She put her foot to the pedal, and it'll take all that for me to settle. She devil, she bad little bitch, she rebel.
Let's get into it. It is Tuesday morning. Well, actually, it's almost noon. And let me run you through my typical day. I wake up between 8 and 9 a.m., depending what time I went to bed. I always try to get at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And unlike most girls on TikTok, you see, I don't rush to work out right away. I don't start meditating and journaling the first thing in the morning. I grab my phone and I answer the most urgent messages because most of the people I work with are actually in Europe. So by the time I wake up, most of their workday has gone by. So there's often some questions and sometimes even emergencies. I don't like putting that off. I'm gonna address that, take care of anything urgent, and then I'm gonna begin my morning routine. Everything I'm sharing, this is what works for me today. I'm sure in a year from now it's gonna change because last 2 years I've been perfecting and trying new things. In the past, I have tried waking up and doing my morning routine first before getting to my phone. But what happens is instead of enjoying this time alone in the morning, I'm actually stressed because I'm like, I need to finish this because what if there's something urgent and I just need to get to my phone and answer that? So it's like, it was counterproductive. I want to be able to enjoy my morning routine without this thought in the back of my head. So now I take 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes it's even like an hour and a half. Sometimes I just get into this flow of answering messages and getting work done that I'm not supposed to be doing first thing in the morning. But I do that and then I get up and start my morning routine, which is obviously my skincare, get ready, whatever. Then I will put my self-development YouTube or an audiobook, something playing in the background, something to learn from, and I'm gonna make my green juice or matcha depending what I'm feeling for. And that's what I'm gonna do, either some journaling, meditation, sometimes, most of the time actually, I'm doing both. If there's a book that I'm currently reading, I'm going to read a chapter. But most of the books, actually, and this is a pro tip, if you're somebody who is into personal development or you're an entrepreneur who needs to constantly learn a lot, I love listening to books. I never read books. I feel like this is something so time consuming, and who has the time? We do so many things on a daily basis. Why not just put an audiobook in the background and listen to it? And in fact, it has been proven that you assimilate the information better through listening rather than reading. But I feel like that also depends on people, just generally speaking. And because I'm listening to books and not reading them, I'm able to go through at least one book a week, which is ultra fast, and normally I wouldn't be able to do that if I was reading. Plus, English is not my first language, so I'm a slow reader. That's another thing to keep in mind. Okay, so that was my morning. Then if I'm hungry, I'm gonna cook breakfast right away before getting to work. Otherwise, I'm gonna start working, make some content, edit things, maybe answer any or maybe questions, hop on calls. We often have 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Zoom meetings. And then I'm gonna have breakfast. I used to be a girl who loves breakfast first thing in the morning. I would wake up, brush my teeth, get ready, and then have breakfast right away. But I don't know, something changed. I don't feel hungry in the morning anymore. I feel thirsty but not hungry, so I wait to have my breakfast usually afternoon. Now, this is my guilty pleasure. When I am having a meal, whether it's breakfast or dinner, I'm not having lunch since breakfast is so late for me. I have only 2 meals a day. I don't like to be working during my meal. I'm gonna put some Netflix, I'm gonna put some Office in the background, I'm gonna listen to a documentary, something fun, something I find enjoyable and not at all related to my work. It gives me this time to re energize, change my thoughts. And then all of afternoon, I'm like really focused work, calls, answering messages, posting content, creating content. And then the evenings are usually for hobbies or for things that I'm enjoying doing. Yesterday, I went to a dance class. Fun fact, I've been actually a dancer since 5 years old until 15. That's when we moved to Canada and I kind of stopped. I started focusing on modeling career more at the time. But now as an adult, I really, really miss this hobby I used to have. So I'm trying to get back. Other nights, I might have a date night with my boyfriend or a dinner with the girls. But at least 2 to 3 nights a week, I spend totally alone, taking the time to do things that I really love or catch up on some work. There's definitely nights where I just keep working until 11 p.m. and just go to bed. So this is how my typical day would look like. Now, few things that you notice. I don't live by a rigid schedule. If I want to wake up later and push all of my routine a little later, I will. If I wake up and I realize I don't have time for a morning routine, I just need to right away get to work because I have plenty of calls and messages to get back to, I will do that. If some days I just don't feel like work at all, I'm gonna do the bare minimum, which is just reply to my team and post some pre-edited content. Here's the most important point I'm trying to make in this video. Try different things, figure out what works best for you, and stick with that. I totally agree that you need to challenge yourself and push yourself and learn how to be disciplined. But it does not mean that you just need to adopt some billionaire's morning routine where he wakes up at 4 a.m. and does these crazy things. Because trust me, you can still be successful operating in your own rhythm. I know a girl, she's my business partner, who is like really structured. She cannot function unless she has everything structured. 9 a.m. she's doing this, 10 a.m. she's doing this, 11, like every single hour of her day, she takes the time, like on a Sunday night, to plan out her week by hours. And she does exactly what she's supposed to do every day, every hour. And she's happy like this. She's thriving. She feels productive. It is challenging, but she seems to be genuinely enjoying this. I'm not like that. I've tried multiple times operating under a schedule, and I feel like it's just not me. And I feel like if I wanted to do a rigid schedule like that, I would have worked a 9 to 5. I wouldn't have become an entrepreneur. I need to let my creativity flow. I need to go with my mood and my energy levels. And that's just what works for me. But here's the thing I noticed in the past 2 years, like I said, I've tried many things. If I just let myself go with the flow and I wake up and I'm like, okay, what do I feel like doing? What needs to get done? I'm not going to be productive. And as a result, I'm going to neglect certain aspects in my business or in my personal life that needs to be done or addressed. And I'm just wasting time because I'm going with the flow. I've tried that, it didn't work, I changed it. Now I'm going to share 2 things with you. Listen up, because these 2 things are probably going to make the most impact in your life and the most change going forward. Something that you can implement to become your version of successful individual. First of all, I don't care what type of format you decide to operate under. If you want to be successful, I genuinely believe you need to include these 3 things in your daily life, however you want to include this. Some type of personal development, whether it's listening to a podcast, audiobook, reading, YouTube videos. And if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're already into personal development, and good for you, because that will change your life. Second thing you need to implement in your daily routine to be successful is income producing activity. I don't know what it can be for you, but as an entrepreneur, every single day I make sure that I do at least one income producing activity that day so that my business always moves forward and drives income. There's this quote that says, if you're not growing, you're dying, and I couldn't agree more. If you think that you're stuck, You're not stuck. If you're not moving forward, you're actually moving backwards. If you're somebody who is working 9 to 5, just showing up to work is already an income producing activity. However, I want you to ask yourself something. Is that job, as working and growing in that company, going to fulfill all of your life goals and dreams and create the ultimate lifestyle? I know that for 99% of people out there, it won't happen. It pays the bills, it keeps you in a survival mode, but you will never thrive. So I would recommend you to learn some high-paying skill set that can create you income from anywhere, anytime, and you don't need to be working for anybody else. That's exactly what I did. I learned social media marketing, trading, and investing. And if you're interested in any of the three, just message me on Instagram. Now, third thing you need to include in your daily routine to be a successful individual is taking care of your spiritual self in one way or another. Way too many people out there underestimate the importance of feeling successful spiritually before it manifests in your physical life. And I actually have a YouTube video on affirmations that you can check out, where I teach you how to create an ultimate affirmations list and improve 3 aspects in your life literally overnight by tapping into your chakras energy. But when I say taking care of your spiritual self, I don't mean only affirmations. I also mean meditation, journaling. It can also be done through self-care. You know how sometimes you're really taking like an hour or 2 hours to do a face mask and a hair mask, and then you take a long, nice bath with candle lights and a bath bomb. While you're doing this, and when you come out of it, you feel like this abundant, wealthy, successful person inside of you. That feeling can be achieved in many ways. Just make sure that you feel like that at least once a day, whether it's through meditation and visualizing you achieving all of your goals, or affirmations, journaling, etc. Okay, so we got to the last point of this video where I'm going to share what really worked for me, and I can't believe that I didn't know about it sooner. I read it from a book and I implemented it in my life, and it changed everything. Because here's the thing, I'm not somebody who's gonna follow rigid routines. I'm also not somebody who likes to have a to-do lists or reminders show up on my phone. Hey, you have to do this and you have to do this. But how do I still stay productive, get everything I want to get done, and move my business forward without having to follow strict routines? What I did is I created a non-negotiable laws in my life. It's easy to find excuses not to do something that is on your to-do list. But if it's the law, it's like, it's a non-negotiable. Whether you like it, you agree with it, you don't agree with it, you are going to do it. Let me give you an example. You know that there is no point in you stopping at the red light when you're on your way home at 2 a.m. and there's literally nobody on the street. It's the least busy street ever. You're still gonna stop. And you're still gonna wait a minute or two at the red light and then move on. Why? Because it's a law. There's many arguments and excuses you can create, but it's a law and you're gonna follow it. This is what I've created for my life. My 4 laws are: I have to produce content every single day and post at least one piece of content daily to move my business forward. My second law is I need to absolutely non-negotiable work out 3 times a week. I try to work out at least 5, but on the weeks that I'm traveling or whatever, my bare minimum is 3 times a week. My fourth law is what I mentioned to you guys earlier. I make sure that I do some type of personal development every single day. And I feed my soul and energy through meditation, affirmations, visualization, whatever it is. I'm going to do at least one of those things every single day. And number 4 is daily movement. I make sure that I at least go for a walk. My life can be very sedentary. I think that's the word. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But I work from home. I work at my computer, on my phone. Sometimes I noticed in the past that I would spend 3-4 days without leaving the house and just work on my couch or at my desk. And that's not good for my mental health and obviously my physical health. So I made a law in my life to move daily. So that's it. That's what worked for me. And it got me to where I am without having to put any crazy restrictions on my life. Don't let anybody else impose their perfect routine on you and make you feel less than simply because you don't want to follow that. Create what works for you. Make sure you are productive and not just busy. And I promise you, it's all going to be worth it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you at the next one.